If you bring up prenup and she immediately turns her nose up at it, or she doesn't want to talk about it, she's not interested in signing it, and she lets you know that, get out of there. You know what you got. She's already planning on her second marriage, and you're going to fund it.
Welcome to Thorns and Roses. I'm Fran.
I'm Vaughn.
And before we get into today's topic, we would love it if you hit the like and the subscribe button. But without further ado,
today's topic, is marriage worth it?
I'm going to say absolutely
not.
No, it is.
Not.
It is.
Maybe if you got a prenup, I think it'll be worth it.
I mean,
you got a prenup? Go ahead and do that.
I don't care about prenups, but we can get into that a little bit later, because I first want to just say I definitely think marriage is worth it.
Definitely not for men, but for women, I see the benefits for the ladies out there.
What do you think the benefits are for women?
Well, she has a protector for as long as she can endure him.
A protector.
She has somebody who's more likely going to take on the bulk of the bills.
That's not even happening in 2024.
She has a father in the home. But this is what they desire. So, most men are going to be paying more of the bills than the woman. That's just what
I'm so glad you're saying this. I'm going to let you continue, though, baby.
A two-parent household makes for better children.
And I believe that men have a lot of benefits as well.
Like what?
When it comes to getting married. First of all, men live longer if they are married as opposed to being single.
That's why they should get married when they're old. Somebody to help you take those. It's too late
by then.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You have to be married by the time you're 38 in order for that to be okay.
Gentlemen, do not fall for this cap. It's complete BS.
It's not.
If you're not done running those streets, don't get married, because 70% of divorce belong to them anyway. They're gonna file.
By 38, you have to get married in order for you to take advantage of this statistic.
Is that what it says?
Stop the cap.
I get what you're saying, baby.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
I just want to make sure.
But for the rest, but for the general public, fellas, please do not. I repeat, do not get married unless you're done running those streets. She can't wait. She can't wait to divorce you anyway.
My marriage was a success.
Yeah.
I look at it as like a curriculum. Yeah. And at the end of that curriculum, and at the end, there's a graduation. There's a celebration.
No, that's not true. And I'm going to touch on that.
At least 70% of them.
Married men tend to live longer than their single male counterparts.
They are not happier.
And on top of that, they are happy. But as far as living longer, they tend to be healthier. And the reason why we can assume is because their lovely wife is making sure that they're going to the doctor, making sure that they're keeping those appointments, and that they're following doctor's orders. Single men tend to not follow the doctor's recommendations because they're not going to the doctor.
Flag on the play.
I don't believe that for a second. But what I will agree on is that maybe they are living longer. That's why I suggest, gentlemen, get married later.
No.
Later. Prolong
Get married
that.
when you're ready. I agree with that. But I don't think you should be 65 years old and your thing don't work and now you want to get married.
It's a perfect time to get married.
Nobody wants you anymore.
It's a perfect time to get married,
Nobody wants
sir.
you.
She doesn't work either.
Yes, it does.
You think it's moist down there? Maybe if you spit shine it first. But other than that, nobody's finding her attractive either. You both are old.
Whatever.
I don't think when you're at that age that sex is really important. No, it's about companionship. Keeping each other alive. Reminding each other to take those pills on time.
Moving right along. Another benefit that men have is they end up having more earning power by being married than being single. As a matter of fact, married men have 10 to 20% more earning power.
Until the end. Until she takes half. Then you can't even furnish your new apartment. You got child support, alimony, and court fees that are piling up.
He ain't lying.
The fact that men tend to be so focused on a divorce that you are missing the opportunity to make sure that the marriage is successful. Stop focusing on the demise and start focusing on how to make that thing work.
Did you hear that? Fellas, if you do not talk about the prenup.
I don't care about a prenup. You want a
prenup? You just said talking about the demise.
You're talking about a divorce though.
Yes.
That's what I mean by demise.
Look, if she's okay with the prenup, y'all come to that agreement, then I say by all means, you got yourself a keeper. But if you bring up prenup and she immediately turns her nose up at it, or she doesn't want to talk about it, she's not interested in signing it, and she lets you know that, get out of there. You know what you got. She's already planning on her second marriage, and you're going to fund it.
I disagree, but whatever. Another benefit for men to get married is the fact that regardless of what men say, studies have shown that married men in this day and age are more satisfied both sexually and just overall more happy.
How that work on you?
Hell no.
If a man has finished running the streets, eventually there's going to come a point where they may not be as excited to be going out with this one and that one and that one. It gets expensive. So
It does.
you're draining your bank accounts just on multiple women when you could be building with just one woman.
I'm going to
earning
say
more. And so
I do
in
not
turn, that
I do not
creates
believe
happiness.
through the men that I've talked to, the married men that I've talked to about this topic, none of which say they would do it again. The only thing we may get is somebody who may cook for us from time to time.
I'm so glad you said
Somebody who might keep the house up for us from time to time, because this is a partnership. You're going to be expected to do some of this. You don't save any money.
You do.
You're taking on majority of it. You're taking on majority of the bills,
That is
if not all of the
happening
bills.
in 2024.
It is.
Please stop.
You wish it weren't, but it is. That's why women are online talking about, why do I need to pay bills if I got you? They don't want to pay any bills. They want to work hard to be independent, but as soon as it's time to pull that wallet out, they don't want to pay for anything. They want you to pay their bills, pay for the dates, pay for the upkeep of the house, pay for maintaining their lifestyle. And what do you get for it? Maybe she'll offer up that mouthpiece without nagging.
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up?
Maybe. But as the marriage goes on, the longer you're married, the less sex you have. That's what the statistics say.
Well, I have statistics that say the complete opposite, is that in this day and age that married couples are having more sex.
Yeah, when they're newlyweds.
This is what I think the real problem is that there's too many men and women that don't really understand what marriage actually entails. And part of the problem is that because many of them have never seen a successful marriage for themselves.
I agree with that.
Y'all have an impractical view of what marriage actually looks like. I see for women, y'all have this unrealistic expectation that a man is supposed to just fund your lifestyle, a luxurious lifestyle. You think that your life is supposed to be Instagrammable.
Preach.
Because you're now married.
Preach.
And that only applies to maybe 1% of the population. What makes you think this man can afford to fund your lifestyle, and that you about to go on vacations every other month, and that you're going to be living in this fancy high-rise or this fancy looking house, but he's making on average $60,000 to $70,000 a year?
It's not possible.
It's not going to happen. And so once you realize that, you know, maybe your expectations will become more realistic, and then the institution of marriage can actually it could actually serve both parties. But I'm not finished, because men, same thing applies to you guys. There are a lot of men that believe that a wife equals a servant.
What? Mm-hmm. How did you get that?
And a concubine. You think that woman's supposed to cook? Yes. You think that woman's only role is to cook, clean, please you.
Cook, clean. You shut up.
Exactly.
No, I don't.
There are men that think that.
Yeah, but these are the elite. These are like,
that's your average everyday Joe that's thinking that. The problem
is
that they're listening to the elite.
No, it's
they're
not.
seeing what the elite are
let me
doing.
get a word in,
Go ahead, man.
That's not true. You can't say that the average man who is making between $40,000 to $50,000 a year is expecting some subservient woman to be at his beck and call. It doesn't work that way.
They want her to
That
be
type
barefoot
of woman,
and pregnant.
That type of woman,
cooking and cleaning.
The type of man who thinks that it's a high value man. Of course he wants a pretty young thing to bear his child. And if he's funding her lifestyle, of course he's going to want to be able to call on her when he wants her. Now, if you're the average Joe, chances are you don't have that type of pull, unless this woman that you have at your beck and call is short, fat, and fugly. So, you know, that's just what it is. If you want a woman to respond when you say, every time you say, then get one of them short, fat, and ugly joints, man. I promise you, man, they're in abundance out there. Like 70% of the United States is obese. You can find one, and she'll be happy to have you. But at the same time, no, that's not what. Come on, man.
That is absolutely the case. It may not be the case for all men, but there's definitely men that believe that.
The elite.
Now, granted, we're not married yet, but I have seen plenty of examples of successful marriages. I mean, myself, I grew up in a 2-parent household where they were married until death did them part. So, and what I have learned is that no marriage is going to be just full of rays of sunshine. There's going to be those clouds. There's going to be those thunderstorms. And it's all about how you get through those storms together.
And like I said, for those of us who come from a broken home, you know that if you only seen failed relationship after failed relationship, and every time it gets hard, they just break up or part ways. So that's how people view marriage. Like when the going gets tough, they get going.
And that's the reason why the divorce rates are what they are. But I think.
But who's initiating them though?
If it's a man or a woman initiating, I think that we give up too easily.
Ladies, that one's for you. 70% of you, that's for you. Initiating divorce.
It's your job to help make that marriage successful. It doesn't just depend on one person. Even on the days that I don't like you, I'm still gonna love you through it.
See, and that's what's missing, to be honest. Those days are over. The modern woman has said, damn that. I will be happy, and if I am not happy, I will go get happy.
You can't depend on your partner to make you happy.
Amen.
You gotta find happiness within yourself.
What do you guys think? Do you think marriage is worth it? Who's benefiting from this?
You gonna think it's worth it when you in your deathbed and you ain't got nobody there to hold your hand,
fellas,
as you find the light.
Fellas, marry later. They're a lot more vulnerable and easier pickings.
Nobody's gonna want you then because you have nothing to offer though. You over here in a nursing home thinking you about to find love.
Ladies and gentlemen, marry later. They're more desperate and willing to comply.
So you want somebody that is with you because they're desperate?
No, I want them to have their fun. I want them to live life abundantly. And then when you realize that time is ticking, look, she's getting older too. Now you get her at a discount. No? Only thing she's going to do that's going to keep you living longer is to remind you to take those pills.
That's true. It. With that being said, marriage is absolutely worth it. It's just that we have to get out of this idealistic viewpoint of marriage.
Right. And get the prenup.
Yeah. I don't care, ladies. I don't have a problem with signing a prenup. I got my own.
Keep her. Well, that concludes this episode of Thorns and Roses. Again, remember to like, comment, subscribe. Until next time.
And get married.
With a prenup.